Welcome to Map It Marketing for small business owners who want to become more confident and capable in their marketing. I'm Rachel Klaver and I'm a small business owner just like you. I've learnt that there are so many different things that we are supposed to do all the time. And trying to work it all out is, quite frankly, often very confusing. In this podcast, we're going to explore what those things are and whether you need to pay attention to them. Ready? Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Map It Marketing. This is the very first episode of my podcast, Map It Marketing, with me, your host, Rachel Klaver. I'm a marketer that owns a marketing agency that helps small business owners become more confident and capable with their marketing. And I'm super excited to be starting this journey with you. I've been planning this podcast for almost a year, which is very unusual for me because I tend to have an idea and then jump straight into it. Last year, 2020, was a year like no other. I think you can agree with that. And for us as a business, we were very busy helping small businesses train and upskill to help themselves in the digital marketing age. We wanted to make sure that everyone we worked with was able to become more empowered and confident and capable. We got some great wins last year, but we also got a few losses, and we learned a lot about how people learn, how people need to get help and support, and how we could help and serve people better. We've always had a huge giving side to what we do. And so this podcast is to help you as a small business owner become more confident and capable with your marketing, even if you never work with us. Because I believe if we all improve our marketing, it benefits everybody. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you some elements of insight and depth that I have, and then also introduce you to experts that will help you with your marketing along the way. Now, I feel like that's enough of an introduction about this podcast as a whole. So I want to talk to you a little bit about why it's called Map It, because that will help underpin everything we do. And Map It actually has 5 key components, all made up of the letters M-A-P-I-T, Map It. So at every episode, I'm going to tell you which one we're going to focus on, but at the end, we're always going to use the A, which is our activator, which is act or take action. So we're going to go through with those very carefully first. But first, I wanted to share with you a little bit about why it's called Map It. I started Identify around 6 years ago. Originally, it was a doing agency, which did not suit my personality at all. And we grew very fast. And it was a business that had quite a good name in the workplace. We won awards, but it was not a business that filled my heart. It was a business that was intensely flawed because I had never run a business and run teams before, and there was all these things going on. And 3.5 years ago, we came to this crux point of realizing that something had to change. Now, I'm going to share with you more in depth around that in the second episode, because I want to talk to you about one of the other parts of Map It, which is the T, which stands for trust. But I wanted to share with you why we started this, because quite often with small businesses, when we're under pressure and stress, it's very easy to freeze. It's very easy to stop and think, I just can't do this. Or we get information overload. Even listening to this podcast could be adding to your informational overload. And I obviously don't want that, but it's very easy for us to become oversensitized to everything that's going around and not knowing how to take that first step. Action is such an important part of what I teach our clients and anyone that will listen to help you with your marketing. And so 3.5 years ago, we were in a very dark place. We weren't making any money. We had some clients who'd managed to stay with us, even though we did not deserve to keep them. I had staff who might have been working on what they were doing, but it didn't fit with where I was going. So we had a huge impasse there. And I knew something had to change. And my husband, Rod, who works with us, and me, we sat down and we went, what are we going to do? I'd been on a course which was free, and one of the actions I'd taken from that myself was to start doing more free training, more public training. And it was something that terrified me. My biggest fear was, what if I run training and nobody shows up? In some ways, running this podcast is easier because really I'm going to see whether 1 or 2 people see it, but it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to be in a room and there's no one there. I'm talking to you right now while I'm sitting in an empty office space. And so I can pretend that thousands of people might listen to this at some point, but I don't have the risk of no one showing up and me looking like a complete idiot. So, so it was a tricky thing for me, but I had nothing to lose. We were so desperate we did this. So I created a day of training, a free day of training, and it was called Map It. And MAP it stands for something, and I'm going to quickly go through with you what those 5 things are. M is for map, A is for action, P is for promote, I is for invest, and T is for trust. And these were the 5 components that I had worked out that 1, we needed to have more of in our business. 2, the ones that we had seen the biggest wins with in our clients when we'd seen the clients work. And also it helped people pin together and understand marketing in a non-technical way. I think that many marketers often will give us jargon and words that help us just become more confused with words. And so we share our values very broadly. We want you to feel comfortable and confident and capable. So we try not to use jargon. Occasionally there'll be jargon when I'm talking about marketing because it's hard to replace it, like SEO, search engine optimization. It's kind of hard to find another English word to describe that. So, but we will try and use analogies and storytelling to help you understand things. So when I'm having my sessions with you by myself, you'll often hear stories to help you kind of work out what things mean. But we need a map. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So in the 5 areas, map, action, promote, invest, and trust, we start with thinking about a marketing map. Now, some people would call this a strategy. Some people might call it a customer journey. And some people might just put odd things on a piece of paper and making it connect somehow. But the reason I call it a map is it gives us a plan of where we're going. But maps are often a little bit alternative. Yesterday, I was driving home and I was in a place where I didn't know very well where to go. And I knew how to get home from there, but I'd gone one street too over. And so I grabbed my GPS and I plugged in the addresses, and it took me further away from where I thought I should be doing. And I was quite surprised by this, but it took me in a completely different way that was actually easier for me to get to where I wanted to go, but it was a bit more convoluted. And I think the reason I like the idea of a map is that there's no one way to get a customer. There are many different ways that we can introduce people to us, get ideas from us, and it's all about choosing the things that suit us best, the things that our customers want best, and also then the things that suit our business and the stage of business we're in, and being able to put layers and layers on top of that. I have a saying, which is that you just need to be a little bit less shit than your competitors. And a map helps you to do that. It helps you work out what's the bare minimum of marketing that you need to grow your business. And then if you want to get it bigger, you just add on a little bit more stuff from your marketing map. So we're going to be helping you write a map during these podcasts and think about what is the activity that you want people to do to find out about you. What is the activity you want them to do to find out more about you and show interest in you? And what is the activity you're going to show people you care and that you're invested? The I is the invest. So we're going to walk through that with you. I'm looking forward to helping you do that. For you, I would like you to have one action from today. And that would be to maybe write down for yourself now what your map already looks like. What social media platforms are you using? Do you have a website? Do you have a retail store or an office where people come to? Do you go to expos or run live events? Those are all the things that you'd put in the middle. And then on the other side, I want you to think about how are you looking after your existing customers or people who may not be a customer yet, but are interested in you. So it might be email or nurture sequences or thank you gifts or things like that. Think about what that looks like and kind of start thinking about how your map would look like if you drew it on a piece of paper. I'm looking forward to working with you as we go through these episodes. Our next episode is all about trust and building that trust. And then we're going to start having some awesome guests that will help you develop your own marketing. So excited to coming on this journey with you as we map out your marketing for your business. Thanks for tuning in today to Map It Marketing with me, Rachel Klaver. Make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. And if you want notes or information about today's podcast, go to rachelklaver.com/podcast for more information.